Hi, this is Isabella.
And Uday.
And we are doing our further oral activity, Language Intercultural Context, on Donald Trump's first presidential press conference. We decided to analyze the conference based on his present audience, register, jargon, and syntax. Since this text was so long, we have split it up into the three most addressed topics: foreign affairs, jobs, and the media, with a select few other topics. As we go through this text, we have already outlined the core topics we will be discussing in this video, and we will further analyze the identified examples of language in a cultural context. We decided to do community because a lot of the language he used was due to the audience that was present, which was the media. Jargon was also used because the political language and key points that were talked about may come off confusing to those who do not have the background knowledge.
The register used throughout the conference varied. At first, he presented himself very formally and put together, using formal register. As the conversation continued, Trump continuously corrected or interrupted himself, showing examples of consultative register. Because of the set of the conference, at times it seemed much like a group debate, which exemplifies casual register. Many pauses and crosstalk was presented throughout the entire conference. Donald's sentence structure, which relates to syntax, at times seems confusing. There were a lot of simple repetition and a lot of sentences either railed off or lost point. We have highlighted each of these factors in different colors in order to organize each point. Register in green, jargon is in blue, community is in pink, and syntax is in orange. As we go through and look at the highlighted part, we will write our own original notes. For our product, we have conducted an interview where Donald's language will be analyzed in comparison to another politician. This politician will have similar policy ideas, but the way he presents them and the body language will be much different than the way Donald does. The community that he's talking about here is media and the people. The people would be the American citizens. They get it, they actually get it, but they don't write it. So here he's referring to the media. Orange here we highlighted for syntax to show his sentence structure. Here is a break in what he was talking about, which is, to me, means something. Here we move on to the media bracket, the jobs bracket also, and foreign affairs. In the media, here we highlighted orange for syntax again, and it shows how he says dishonest, so that shows repetition. And another place where repetition is prevalent is tremendous disservice and tremendous disservice. So this sentence here, very, another form of repetition. This shows Donald Trump repeating many of these words that the American people do know and understand to create an emotional response to them. Down here, we highlighted pink for community. And he's talking about the broken system of families and the communities. And this is referring to the communities of the American people, the poor American people that are stuck in a loop, the broken system. Here is where Donald Trump also breaks in his sentence. And this also touches on his confusing message, because whenever he does break in his sentences, what he's trying to say is not really translated and not really understood to some people. Down here, pink for community, straight to the people referring to America. A mess. Clear repetition to show the severity of what Donald Trump inherited from the past administration. We will take care of it, folks, is highlighted in green to show register. Here, he says, we will take care of it, folks. Folks is more of a common register that is used in the American people, more so in the South. And also underlined here in orange, we will take care of it, we're going to take care of it. The repetition to reassure the American people that the jobs are going to be taken care of. North Korea will be taken care of. The Middle East will be taken care of. And I just wanted to let you know, here he uses you, which is more of a casual register, and he with this use of you, he's bringing the American people and including them into what he's trying to say. However, it contrasts with what his register is here, I would say far more productive than you would understand. When he says you would understand, this becomes more of a condescending tone, where here he was inviting the American people in, he was making them feel as if they understand what is going on. He contrasts with foreign affairs here, that they really wouldn't understand, which also lends itself to the confusing message that Donald Trump is trying to portray. Again, here, mess goes along with the repetition in the middle of this section. And we have imposed new sanctions on the nation of Iran is highlighted in blue to comment on the jargon that is used. Sanctions is not a word that most common Americans know because it is political jargon that Donald Trump has implemented in his talk of the nation of Iran. Here in this section, we have blue highlighted to discuss the jargon that President Trump uses. Here, underlined, is the Electoral College. Now, the Electoral College is said many times in the news, but people may not understand what the Electoral College actually does. And he spits out numbers, but if you still don't know what the Electoral College is or what they do and their significance in the election, you wouldn't understand why these numbers are important. Down here, also, he discusses the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and he connects it with job-killing disaster. Now, not a lot of people know what the Trans-Pacific Partnership is, and with Trump saying that it's a job-killing disaster, automatically people think that it's bad. But without the context of what this is, people may not know why exactly that this is bad. Also, with that point, the Keystone Pipeline and the Dakota Access Pipeline, again, people may not understand what exactly that is. So with Trump referencing them, but without explaining what it is and giving the context, the background context of what they are, that initial knowing is lost by the American people. Here he talks about how if he hadn't been elected, jobs would keep on leaving the country, and he introduces his infamous "believe me" that we hear so many times in his other speeches and interviews. He also talks about a new plant in Arizona. Also, back to the jargon that he uses, not many people know, and not many people know what the plant is. He just says a new plant in Arizona and does not give any specifics as to what that plant does, why that plant was created, and why it's important. So again, that context is lost. He goes into a lot of repetition in this area. Many, more. Not gonna let that happen anymore. Not gonna let that happen anymore. Many jobs. Decades. This repetition is showing that Trump is becoming more scattered and using this repetition to fill in empty space. Here, we're gonna be addressing the syntax. It's all fake news. Also, the repetition to move forward his message that the media is not trustworthy. Also, in this sentence, we see a break here where the people are now looking at the illegal. I think it's very important, the illegal, blah, blah, blah. This is not very relevant to the message that he's trying to say. So, also, he's bringing in, irrelevant statements to kill time. Here with this register, it shows that Mr. Trump is moving towards a more unprofessional tone because here he's saying that many people know that, but he's assuming that people know whatever he's talking about with Russia, which they may not know. And also here, he's addressing the Ukraine government, but says, or somebody, in respects to what Mr. Manafort represents. He doesn't know exactly what Mr. Manafort represents, so that also shows how unprofessional he is going into his press conference. Donald Trump is directly calling out the media community, saying that they don't print because it's not good for their stories. They don't print good things about Mr. Trump because it's not entertaining to their viewers. Also, down here he talks about different communities in the media, the political media and the financial media. He directly correlates the political media with dishonesty because he's not very familiar with it, unlike the financial media, which he is very familiar with it, being a businessman, connecting them with words as better and more honest.
Hello and good evening to everyone. Thank you for tuning in to PIG News, where we have a very exciting night ahead of us. We have Donald Trump and Charlie Seasonwell here to answer some questions for us. How are you today?
Very good. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
As most of the public knows, you two share a lot of the same political ideas. Tonight's goals are just to lay them out there and really familiarize the American people with what you would be bringing into the White House. So what are your thoughts regarding Russia and the news that has been leaked thus far?
Here's the thing, the media, they don't respect anyone. They find this and that, and they make a big headline. It makes me look bad. I normally don't say anything, I move on, but I'm not a bad person, but they make me look bad. But Russia, I don't have any deals with Russia, not at all. Putin and I do not communicate, not at all. Well, he did call me, he reached out, but just to congratulate me on my nomination. All other nations did so as well.
Seasonwell?
Well, many news outlets have obtained confidential information and leaked it through their sites. There are actions that are accomplished in the Oval Office that need to be kept private due to their content. Some, not all media sources have repeatedly...
CNN, BBC, MSNBC.
Yes, I suppose at times, but not only them. The media continues to make Russia a bigger issue than it is. The leaks have to stop.
Thank you. I want to move on to the topic of Homeland Security. How will your administration undertake this task?
Build the wall. We are going to build a wall that's bigger and better. What we have now is a joke. It's not even a joke. It's non-existent. There's no control. Out of control. Completely. We need to take back our country and fix the big problems going on.
I agree. Border security has been a major issue with our country in the past. Thousands of undocumented citizens have entered the United States and stayed hidden within our system. The wall is an idea that is a work in progress. It's clear that immediate action is needed in order to resolve these problems, but no plan is perfect.
Well, I have talked to the president of Mexico. Very nice, very long conversation. He will pay for the wall, so...
Oh, so you have the commitment of the Mexican president for the wall?
Yeah, of course. He thinks it's a very good idea.
Interesting. Let's move on to the topic of the media. Lately, Trump, you have been very concerned with the recent stories. If you claim the leaks are real, how can the news they report be fake?
I'll go ahead and say this.
No. I can handle this, bud. The media is out for me. They never talk about the good things that I do. I'm a good person. I am. They see good things and they don't report it because it's not good for their story.
Yes, but how is the real leaks that they report fake news?
Listen to me. The leaks are bad. We need to fix them. It is not okay. This information is confidential and we need to fix it. The news is bad, folks. There are things that we really need to fix in America to make it great again.
Okay. Seasonal, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I do. To answer your question regarding real leaks and fake news, I think it's appropriate to admit that most of the news is not far from the truth.
Wrong.
While the information should not be out there to begin with, the media does its job reporting.
All right, one last question to tie off this interview. How will your administration take the